Hello everyone! So, before this video gets started, subscribe to this channel, click and that is me using left-handed bait casting reels. I am not left-handed, I am actually right-handed, but I use left-hand retrieve bait casters. And I'm going to tell you why it's right, and you right-hand retrieve guys are wrong. So, I'm going to talk about a few key points. I'll start from not so important, and then the last one's going to be very important. So anyway, let's start with number one. When everyone learns to fish, when you're a kid or an adult, could be an adult just starting to fish, that's totally awesome, cool, whatever. When you start to fish, you learn on a left-hand retrieve spinning reel. Pretty much everyone did, right? So, why all of a sudden, when you start getting into bait casters, you're going to switch everything up and start using right hand? That makes no sense. And still, like, all you right hand guys, I see you using left hand spinning rods. Like, why are you constantly switching? So that's just a little point, not a major point, but a point nonetheless. Now let's get into casting. Okay, so with a left hand retrieve, I'm using my dominant hand to cast for the most part. Left hand's just on the butt, whatever. And then cast with my right hand never moves. My left hand, after cast hits the water, goes right onto the handle. There you go. What you guys are doing with right hand retrieve is you're either learning to cast left-handed, that's silly, or you're casting right-handed still, and then you're doing the double swap. Casting right-handed, and then you gotta move your left hand up to the reel, and then you move your right hand to the... That's just wasted movement. Stupid. It really comes into play when you're flipping. Pitching, technically. You're either learning to pitch left-handed, which is just ridiculous, or you're still pitching right-handed. You're pitching and then doing that double switch again. Now, you guys might say, oh, it's just a split second longer, who cares, whatever. That split second, especially when you're flipping, could be the difference between getting a good hook in that fish or not, or just skin hooking him. A lot of times, flipping and pitching, that bait hits the water, they hit it on the fall, it's really quick. There's a pitch a lot of times. So just that little thing, or you'll get caught in between and lose the rod and have no power and your hook set and whatever. It's just stupid. And also, you look like a monkey humping a football. And then also, you know, when you're pitching, it's a quick technique. You can make a pitch, might move the rod just a little bit, whatever. But then you're just pitching. When you're constantly pitching right hand, switching over, getting the bait back in, switching back over, pitching, just constantly this. Like, so dumb, wasted motion. It's a waste of time. Now, so that's a pretty big point for me. Now let's get into the most crucial reason why I use left-hand retrieve, and that is fighting a fish. When you hook into a fish and you're fighting that fish, your rod hand is doing 90% of the work. All this other hand is just turning this freaking handle. You are doing everything with your rod. And so you right-hand guys that are using right-hand retrieve reels, you're using your less dominant hand to fight that fish. So you're wasting your good arm just doing this. I mean, so when I'm fighting a fish, I obviously, most of the work is done with the rod. Like I said, I want to use my power arm, my good arm, whatever, to fight that fish. Anyway, that is the major point. I will say this. If you fish right-hand retrieve, you've been doing it a long time, I'm not saying sell them all and switch to left hand. That's totally not what I'm saying. You've got good at it, you're skilled at it, you know what you're doing, whatever. Totally cool, fine with you. But for you beginner guys that want to start using bait casting equipment, if you're right-handed, get a left-hand retrieve. If you're left-handed, get a right-hand retrieve. I don't know where years ago it got all screwed up. And also finally now, every company is making left-hand retrieve reels for like all their reels, all their gear ratios. For the most part, there might be little ones that you might not be able to find. But years ago when I started, and I wanted to start using bait casters, I did that. I went to the right-hand retrieve because it was hard for me to find left-hand retrieve reels. The ones that I could find were cheapy ones. They weren't like the good, more expensive ones that I wanted or whatever. Or they were in stupid gear ratios that I didn't want for certain techniques or whatever. It was just much, and then everything was in a right hand, so it was easier. So I actually fished right-hand retrieve baitcasters for probably like 2 years until finally there was a left-hand retrieve reel I really wanted, and I'm like, screw it, I'm buying it. And went to that and have never looked back, and now buy everything in left-hand retrieve. It's, as soon as I started doing it again, I was like, oh my god, this is way more comfortable. So that's what I'm saying. Go your retrieve with your less dominant hand, because that just means where your handle is, and this is all you're doing with your less dominant arm. If you're left-handed, then you're doing everything else with your dominant hand. So if you're left-handed, get a right-hand retrieve. If you're right-handed, get a left-hand retrieve. It totally is the way to go. But you guys that have already been screwed and have been doing that for a long time, just keep using your right-handers. But you guys, seriously, listen to me. But that's it. Just a quick little thing that I just want to talk about because people are always asking. And that's it. And I'll see you guys on the next one.